All right, I am back. I wasn't going to stream, but I had some time for the next hour or two, and I figured if I'm going to be working on this, I might as well talk to myself while I do it. Just loading up my chat in case anyone actually decides to join the stream. And I won't even announce it, I just want to jump right into this. I just got to clean up a couple more windows here. All right. So I was messing around with some stuff when I got off of the stream. Actually, let me load up my monitor so I can preview and make sure everything's actually working. If my mouse would go over to that computer, there we go. So one of the things I was working on was basically getting. I now have the ability to switch between different modes. Let me restart. Oh, I forgot to do the title on Twitch. It is kind of annoying the way that it doesn't let me do this off of 2.5. Okay, all right, good to go. Now that you're done staring at the back of my head. All right, so what I was able to do since my last stream was I am now able to copy whole chunks of tile map to the actual map, or from one other tile map to another tile map. So let me just run this real quick and then I'll show you what I'm talking about, because what I now have is a mode where I can switch between edit mode and play mode. So let's do this. So now we have edit mode, and I'm going to now switch back to play mode. Whoops. Let me get out of this. There we go. All right. I don't know why I was putting collision here. Actually, what I was trying to see is if when this copies things over, if it adds collision. All right, let's see here. We'll get rid of this. There's no collision here because there's nothing to collide with. But what I want to see is that when I copy this over, I'm curious if it's just copying this or if it's actually copying over all of the collision information too. So we have to switch to the edit mode first. Then we have to switch back to play mode. And now, okay, that's what I thought. That's why this metadata, this meta tile thing is so important. The plugin I'm using here just to copy this stuff is great, but it isn't going to copy any collision stuff. This meta tile one, however, copies whatever is in here right over, and that's perfect. So there was a couple things I wanted to mess around with while I'm doing this. So what I wanted to figure out next, and just because I'm just going to try to do a couple like little things. I don't know if I have time to really dive into anything deep, but I want to do some like little polish stuff. Because what I want to do is when you go to edit the map, what I wanted to do is fade down and all the stuff in the top, I want the background to gray out. So I was playing around with this a little bit before, but let's go in and let's see what my plugins are. I don't know why I'm looking at my plugins. I'm looking at the palettes, and what I've done is I've created, I have curtain bottom, curtain top. I no longer need the curtain bottoms because, oh, a big thing that I did too was I went in and I cleaned up the background a lot. Originally, I had these lines up here into the curtains, and while it like looked a lot better, it meant that I had to have an extra palette. So by reducing this, I have now one palette that handles the red curtains. I have one palette that handles the sky. And then I've simplified this background considerably because now what I can do, and you can see it over here, is I now added this line here. So when we go into edit mode, there'll be a clear line between where you can go and where you can't. So now my goal is to try to get this to where I can fade out the top part. And this shouldn't be terribly difficult. I have some of this already up and running. So what I wanted to do was I was just trying to think of how to like name this stuff. Rename. So what I want to do is light curtains BG. I don't know why I keep going to all uppercase, but it I feel like it's, let me see here. Where's my mouse? If we go back to the game world, we go here. No, wait, it was in the toggle edit script. And if we click on this, I started messing around with these setting. Let me enable this event. Setting these background tiles or background palettes. Enable palette, rename, enable palette. So, yeah, you know, they use regular. It's weird. There's like, it's so inconsistent all over the place of like what the naming conventions for things are, but it's fine. We can just make this light curtains BG for background. And then I'll copy this. Now we don't need the bottom. We can delete this. And we're going to make this dark. And I wish that I could do, I'm going to go back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these colors back because I didn't like what I came up with here. Actually, you know what? Let's just test it out here. So, oh my God, my mouse keeps jumping all over the place. What we're going to do is we're going to set the dark curtain background, and then this this global default needs to be set to don't modify this. I need to create a dark sky, and then that will give me the two palettes I need at the moment. So let's see. I think I had a sky BG. Let's make a new rename. We're going to call this light sky BG, and we're going to create a dark to go along with it. Whoops, rename. So the light sky BG, we had this blue. Where is the light sky BG? Come on. Dark curtains. Dark sky BG. We have this. Which is the dark sky. Paste that in. Light sky. Let's go here. And we'll paste this here. And then darkest will be light sky. We'll do this. And then we'll go here. So, so what I was doing before is I was setting all this stuff to 30 just to go down on the brightness. But it's sort of setting them all to the same value. And then here I just did like, wait, what did I do here? Dark curtains. I set this to 6. So now what should happen if we go to the game world here, I don't even think we need to color these things. I'm kind of curious if I don't actually do this background palette swapping, if it copies the palettes over. I don't think it did, but let's give this a try anyways. We need to do sky dark, or dark sky BG, and then it'll just reset it to the default value. So we'll take a look and see if this actually darkens things. All right, so we'll go into our map editor. So there we go. See, now we have like, it's not perfect right now. I got to figure out why what that gap is. Also, this sort of, what I have to do is I have to create a palette now that'll split the top and the bottom. So that this still works. But if we play the map, we go back here, and good. So what I want to try to do real quick is I want to try to just do the darker. Oh no, wait, I can't. What I was noticing, there's only a certain amount of palettes that you can have, and I didn't want to waste them all by putting them all into the same thing when I can actually just swap them out. And one of the cool things that I can do is I can actually simulate it fading down by changing the palette. So if I do a set where it goes down, you know, like 80%, 50%, 20%, 0, we can get this effect that when you go into edit mode, it sort of like fades everything out. And I want to use that to my advantage because there's going to be some stuff that has to happen behind the scenes for the Game Boy to calculate the tile map and sort of just get everything up and running. And what I wanted to do is use that time to that increment of it going and darkening will be the loading process. But I'm a ways away from that. So the next thing I want to do is let's go back into here, and we need to do palettes. And I need to make another sky palette. So I'm going to rename this light sky to light sky, sky top. And we'll create a new one. Rename, and we're going to call this light sky bottom. And then we just got to copy these numbers back over again. And I'll show you why this is going to be important. And then we'll do this color here. All right, so now we're going to have a top and a bottom. So let's go back into our, let's go back into our game world. And what I want to do is get this to a place where I can, I don't know what actually creates this. So let's see. This one I know for sure. I'm going to move these palettes over again. I want this to be, well, I can just, oh wait, I have to go in and edit this. Where do I think it's in the settings again. So we'll do platform BG here. Platform BG. We'll do exit lock BG or exit star sprite. Oh, here's the exit lock BG, the platform BG. This would be the light curtains. This will be the light sky bottom. Light sky curtains BG. We'll do the platform here. Platform BG, and then the exit. And then we don't need this, and we don't need this right now. I'm trying to remember if exit is actually the right. I have two of them in here. I have exit BG and exit lock, and I need to delete one of these. I think they're the same. So let's do this. Let's go back here, and in our palettes, let's get rid of exit BG, exit lock. Let's delete this palette. And now we're going to go into our game world. And I'm not sure. I think what we can do is... that's interesting. I wonder why that's giving me that weird little line at the bottom of that one tile. Meta tiles. Is this like a color that doesn't exist? No. Huh. That's weird. The Game Boy, GB Studio is rendering this one out differently. Maybe, oh, you know what? It's because I have a different palette to it. So what I've done is I've attached the bottom palette, and I'm going to do the bottom palette here. Now you can't see it, but if we run this, what should now happen is that when we switch modes, all the other parts of the sky are using the top. They'll be switched out. I think some of this is going to be a little messed up here because I just switched all the palettes around. But, well, you can see this part here is now correct-ish. I don't know what's actually doing the sky stuff. I wonder if, oops, let me zoom out. I wonder if we set, just for, I don't think I can see this, but let's see what happened there when I set all these tiles to that. Because it gets a little weird when it mixes this stuff up. Let's do this. Yeah. I think what we're going to have to do is something, just do like a little bit of a trick here. Trying to see if any of these would change this color, so I can see if it's actually using this this first palette color. I think the way that we're going to have to do this is going to be I think the way we're going to do this is we're going to have to make the bottom half of the sky a unique set of tiles, and then we're going to hide the uniqueness with a palette. And I'll show you what I mean. Basically, we're going to have to add like one little like thing to it. Oh no, here, that actually works now. All right, good. It didn't replace this bottom anymore. So now, what happens if I change it to this color and we rerun it? wonder why that P is like that, but all right, I can look at that later. All right, so that's what I'm sort of going for. Now, all these characters are going to be, they're going to have their own. In fact, let me just do it this way. They're going to have their own palette. I'm just fixing these palettes. And let me run this real quick. I mean, I think some of the hardest stuff is done already now. Like the switching between these modes, and I mean, I'm sure saving and all that and actually building the tile map editor is gonna be hard, but just getting this to sort of work. So what we need to do now is create a new palette that's just for this right here that will turn this dark. And what I actually wonder is if I just use the bottom, if that would do it. Because I don't really care what color that line is above. All I want to make sure is that there is some sort of line or some sort of distinguishing marker that tells you where you can edit and where you can't. Yeah, see, that's weird. It's not changing this palette. And I don't know if it has something to do with this. Let me just redo this real quick and see if this makes a difference. Maybe I might have actually been saving it somewhere around here. I'm not sure. Yeah. All right. So I was using it here. So I got to figure out why that P is bothering me. Let me see where else that P is. I changed it up here. It must have been coming in from this. I must have been, this is one of the problems, like it's hard to tell where these palettes are applied. I wish they had some sort of like pattern so that when you selected one, you could sort of tell. There we go. So now the top is completely dark. And the other thing I learned, which is I don't think I actually need all of this here. Am I mono? Yeah, I probably am mono. I think it's something to do with this this XLR adapter thing I got. I don't know how to switch out. Let me look at the audio. Enable default. Enable down mixing. Oh, I don't know. I'm doing a lot of record. You know what? I'll look into that another time. I'm sorry. I have yet to work out all the issues with this this setup, but thanks for at least letting me know. I'll take a look at it in the morning or tomorrow or later. Oh wait, did it get fixed, or you're just saying it works that it works that I'll fix it later? Let's see here. Edit map. Oh, that worked? Okay. I don't know. Something must have been messed up then. So I set it and... All right. We'll see. All right. So what I wanted to do was I was hoping to make this... Maybe make this line more distinguishable. I don't know if it's really worth the time and the effort. I'm just trying to take inventory of these colors. Yeah, let's create a new palette and just give it a test real quick. So what we'll do is we're going to make a new editor, BG. Oops. Editor BG, and we're going to make each one of these colors really unique. Wait, I want a, let's do R G B. And we'll make this one yellow. And then we'll come back into the game world. And I'm just going to apply them here. But I'm eventually going to replace these anyways. So, oh, I need to go into the settings. And we have default UI. I'm going to make this... What did I just call that thing? Oh gosh, I'm tired already. Editor, here we go. And then if we come back into the game world, now I can choose this obnoxious color. And I want to see, whoa, didn't mean to do that. Oops, let's do it here. No, stop with the... And then I want this row right here. The reason I did it so gross is that I just wanted to be able to make sure that I can see the... I wanted to make sure that I could see the colors in the right palette. All right, so edit the map. All right, that's good to know. All right, so now the question is can we now clean this palette up so that I'm looking at red, green, yellow, and that blue is terrible. All right, let's start with this light blue and this red and this green. And where's the palette editor? So this red and this green, I wanted to switch this around. I actually want to make this red. And then this red needed to be the sky blue. I think it needed to be this color. We'll give this a try real quick. All right. So now I need to change this to the darker blue. I see we're gonna have a problem. I might have to change the way that the text works. I might just have to change the fonts on the text, but so since this is gonna be the editor, what we need to do is go to the dark sky, and I think it's this color is what becomes the lighter version of this, and the darker color will be this color. Dark sky editor BG will make this the darker color. And one of the things I did want to do, I just saw it with the light sky. No, it was the curtains. I want to use the same reds. So let me go back here. We'll go to the editor. That's the exit. Wait, did I add this to the wrong thing? No, okay. We'll use this red. So now what should happen is that line right above, or right, the basically the border at the bottom of the editor will, oh my God, I hate when this music has like some bass talking in the back of it. All right, so we're getting closer. Now that blue needs to become the dark. That blue needs to become the dark green. So where's the dark sky? I think it's this one. It might actually be the other one, but I want this darker color. Editor BG. All right, let's see if this is it. If not, I know I can switch to the other green. So my plan would be that once I get this to the point where I like the palettes, then I will do some incrementing palettes and we'll play around with like loading the palettes in so that it just fades down and then you go into the editor. There we go, look at that. It's so cool. I love it when this stuff works like this. The only thing that's not happening is that the letters need their own thing. I don't know if I have enough palette. I have to start being more creative here because I don't think I have enough palettes for everything. Because I also need to bring in. Let's go to the game world. What I need to do is I need to start bringing in. These things all have different colors to them, and this is a little bit of a problem. What I actually think I'm going to wind up doing is that well, first off, I want this text to have a white. So something in here needs to change to white. And I don't know if I need to make another palette just for text. Because we have sky. Then we have the light curtain. We have the light curtains. We have the platform. We have this thing, which is not the right color. Because I've now, oh, I know why. Because I haven't updated the palettes here. So this is dark. Wait, let me do this for a second. Let me undo that. I've changed the palettes, but I haven't changed them on the actual, or for some reason, I don't know why this didn't get updated. So, wait, what are the palette orders? They are, get me out of this thing. All right, so we have light sky bottom, then we have platform BG. And then we have palette 4. Oh, you know what? Funny. I'm loading in things that already exist. And this is palette. Huh. I wonder, I want to try something out here. I wonder if I can, in this scene, if I change this to DMG, and then I copy from here to here, it'll probably still stay the same color, because I don't think when it copies the tiles, it's still going to be in the first position, so it's not going to copy over the palette with it. Yeah, didn't do anything. So I think this was the right order. We have platform, star, exit. Platform, star, and exit. Platform. Star. And exit. And then we have the editor palette. And then here we need to do the same thing. We need to have, this should be platform, star, and exit. And I think oh, you know what it was? It was this star, since it's going to be, since the star UI is going to be on the background, it needed a different, oh, that's not right. All right, we'll come back to that later. I'm actually just going to wipe this. What we're going to have to do is, since the star is going to be on the top background and the letters going to be in the top background too, I want to see if I can come up with a way to share that palette. Let's see. So this now fix things and make it a little bit more consistent. All right. I'm just thinking through what's going to need to happen here to make this work. Let me switch to sitting for a second. Let me mute this and I'll be right back, and then we'll come back and figure out these. All right. Excuse me. I was just trying to see what the text is a tough one, because the text needs to be on this background, and it needs to always match the background. So I might have to come up with one that's just for the font. At least we fix the exit. All right, let's do this. Let's create one for what is this? This one should be the editor background, right? These are all the same. This is the UI, default UI, default UI. I wonder if we can take advantage of the default UI. All right, let me rerun this. I want to see what the default UI winds up being, because I don't know. I'm running out of. That's the default UI. So let's start by changing this light color. Oh my god, I keep losing my mouse. It keeps jumping back to my other computer. I want to make a copy of this default UI. We'll do a light UI and a dark UI. So we'll copy these colors over and then we'll remap them once I figure out what they are. Light, default UI. Light, default UI. Let's go here to default UI. Copy this, light UI, and darkest. All right, so can I rename this? No, they don't let you I don't know why they don't let you rename these ones, but and maybe I'll just wind up moving things over there later. I don't know how much memory I have for these palettes. They don't take up a lot of space, I don't think. So if I'm looking at the way that this is set up on this light UI, let me get out of this mode for a second. The darkest color needs to be, we can actually probably just do this through the sky and match this a little bit. So like this is dark, and all these colors came from Pixel Vision 8. But for this one, I want to make it white for right now. And then we'll figure that out later. So if I go back to game world and I close this out and I change, we'll just make this the text. Light UI. Light UI, and we'll put this one here too, so we have them all in the same place. And let's just paint these. You can already tell this is wrong, but let's give it a try and see what happens. This is already going to be wrong because it's not even in the right it's not even, first of that blue isn't even matching. Huh. Also, I screwed something up because now I saw that the background is white. What did I think I, can I undo from here? No. Shoot. Yeah, I screwed this one up because it should have been this color. And this I was going to make white. I don't know what I did here and where I copied those things to because I wasn't paying attention apparently. My brain is on autopilot. All right, let's try this now. This is going to not work exactly how it should, but what I wanted to see was that this stuff should now see how this level works. All right, level. All right, so let's paint all of these with this. And we're going to do the same here. So if whenever we do some text stuff, like here, if I run this right now, you'll see that I still have the old code in here to let me cycle through tiles in the like top left corner. You'll see I can get through this stuff. I want to start seeing some letters because the letters and stuff are going to go into this area. Yeah, see, okay, they look good. Something else I was thinking about, and I might play around this in a little bit, is I could, hold on a second. I was thinking that I could maybe move the maybe I can move the curtains down. And then I'd have like a black strip at the top, and I can use that for some things, but yeah, I don't know. I'll keep playing around with this because I think it's just going to look weird if this is just a solid black on the top. I could actually simulate that. Oops. Don't need that. It's my backup recording of the recording. If we go here and we change the camera move to 2, this would give us a sense of what that would look like. I'm just like cramped on space here. Yeah, I don't like the way that looks. Because if we put text in there, it's just going to be like... It's just a little bit jarring. I mean, I could decorate it to make it look better, but I like the curtains, and I like it just being this like one single sort of image. All right, so what we need to do now is we now need to create a dark version of the text. Sprites, images, world. So light UI, we need a dark UI. And dark UI is going to be very similar to the light UI. The only difference is that these are all going to be darker. So light UI, where's my dark UI? So this and this should stay the same. And then on the light UI side, we take this and we'll make it 30. And then we will go back to the light UI and we'll copy this. We'll put this here. And I believe it goes to 30 as well. So let's run. Oh, wait, this isn't going to do anything until we actually tell it to switch out that palette. So now on our toggle script, what we're going to do here towards the end is we're going to do dark UI. All these other things should stay relatively the same. We have to start getting creative because we're running out of colors or running out of palettes, basically. There's actually, the Game Boy Color actually has a good amount of colors. Waiting for it to compile. So much fun. All right, now let's switch. We'll edit the map. And all this stuff is bright. I don't like the purple on that blue. I might want to make it darker. But it works. So here's what we can do. Let's do a little test. File save. So we could do this in 3 increments down. So what I need to do is come up with a... So these are the 3 palettes. And I'm going to come up with a medium sky, medium curtains, and medium UI, I guess. And we'll just try one quick step. So I think if we do this, if we copy this event and we paste... Oh, it's not going to give me... Paste this event after. And then we add, insert an event after, and we're going to call this... there's a wait or something like that, right? Like wait 0.5 seconds. We should be able to do this transition. Palettes. So let's start with dark sky. And we're going to make a medium sky BG. And medium sky BG, dark sky BG. I hate all these colors. I'm going to go back later and I'll fix all these colors and find better colors. But I just want to see if this idea of mine works. And let's copy this here. I don't think this was the right color. Dark Sky BG. Negative Ghost Rider. Negative. Light UI. Medium Sky. There we go. All right, so we're going to make this, I think, 60. 60 and 60, and then this was 6, I think. What was the light UI? It's 19, 6. Let's make it 14 to split the difference. And then what we can do is palettes. No, we want game world. We want this script. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to medium sky. To dark sky. Once we go to the tile map editor. Right? If this is true, Set the editor true. We hide the player. Yeah. There we go. That's actually not bad. The real problem is that we just get all this text here, and we're just going to have to it's almost like we're gonna have to fade it up too. Like while the things get darker, we need to fade it up. Because what I would actually do is change the this is the problem, is that there's going to be text on the there's going to be text in the main game, and I haven't mocked that up yet, but that's fine. This is still pretty interesting. At least it's a good proof of concept. Because tomorrow I'm going to actually build out the whole level editor. I mean, I say I'll build out the whole level editor, but I'm going to do my best. I wonder if we keep these guys like this, if they will at least stay the same color. Nope, they turn red because it matches with this red here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with them. Like, I don't mind if they're grayed out like this, because theoretically I only want them to be highlighted when you're actually doing something with it. It's just, oops, get rid of that. Oh, I gotta fix them because they're still using the wrong one. I thought I fixed that. Yeah, but what will happen is that these ones will be grayed out, and then when you move the selector around, the selector will highlight them, because all I'm going to do is put a sprite in the middle of the selector. So this is working out pretty well. If we go into Aseprite and we come back at the level editor, you can sort of see how this has been working, or at least how I've been mocking it up. Glad I added that sneeze button. So what I want to do right now is I got a little time before dinner. This is the selector. Let's make this selector. Now, the selector is going to have to be sprites. So we're going to copy this. We're going to make a new sprite. We'll put this guy down here for right now. And I don't remember. Whoops. Too many. Well, I just want the outside. Let's do continuous. I mean, technically we can just make this inner thing black anyways, because or dark. because we're going to put a sprite on top of it as we go. So let's save this as a PNG, and in the sprites folder, we're going to call this selector. All right, now we'll come back here. We'll reload our assets, and let's go to our sprites. What we actually could kind of do, I was just thinking about this. What we could do is we could include the other tiles and then just make this an animation where we just go to a certain frame. Like, this is a fixed direction. Oh, you know, it's interesting. We can actually make him, you know, I'm such an idiot. Sometimes I don't really, like, think through the problem at hand. And I keep forgetting that this is just going to be this thing can actually just take up 2 sprites instead of all of this. Wait, I don't, why am I doing it this way? Let's do this. Sprite, crop, save. Let's go back into here, reload our assets, and we're gonna make this guy 16 by 16. And we're going to just paste them right here. So now, yeah, I was wondering, it might just be easier to, leave it as is. All right, so let's do this. Let's go here, game world. And we're going to add an actor to this scene. And the actor is going to be our selector. And I'm going to put it off screen. And on init, what we're going to do is disable. We'll deactivate him as soon as he starts up. And I'll deal with the on update. It's going to be weird. I'll think through this in a minute. I just want to, I'm going to put him over here just so we can see him. What I want to do is enable and disable him as we switch between different modes. So when we are in edit mode equals true, we fade in, then we're going to activate actor, and we're going to use our actor A. This is going to be this actor. And then here we're going to do something similar. So let's do copy event. And then on this side, when we paste, why does it, there we go, paste value. No, I don't want to paste values. I want to paste the event after. Oh, I want to just deactivate it. Never mind. All right, make a new event. Disable. Deactivate. Actor. We also show the player, and one of the things I wanted to do was when we start the level, let's save the start position for the player. Here we go. We want to store an actor position, and we're going to create in this local, we're going to call this L start X box enemy. Just saw the comment. Yeah. No, we want to do local 3. And we're going to call this L start Y. And actually, you know what? These shouldn't be local. These need to actually be global. So we're going to call this, this is a variable, start X, and we will use variable v start Y. And the reason why I did that is I didn't want to have to keep passing this back into this script, and there's probably going to be a lot more map logic we're going to have to build, so it should just have access to that. The reason why I was doing this is we're going to hide the player. We should actually just deactivate the player. Oops. Insert event after. Well, I wonder if deactivate, disable event. I wonder if deactivate is the same. Activate actor A, insert event after, deactivate actor player. And then here, we actually want to, yeah, all right, that's fine. We deactivated the player. Actually, I want to deactivate the player before this stuff happens. So the first thing we do is we come in here. Oh, I think I already had all this stuff. I already had deactivate the player. Delete this event. Delete this event. We don't need this or this. We'll do the draw edit at the end. Activate actor at the end. And then here, when we show the player, insert event after, we're going to just activate actor. And we're going to insert an event before, and we're going to move actor to v start, whoops. This needs to be a variable. V start X, make this a variable. V start Y. Then we activate the player. The reason why is that when you are done editing the map, it should then reinitialize the game so that the player would just fall from the top. So let's see if we can get this little guy to this selector to activate. All right, edit map. There we go. We now have the selector. And we come here. Ooh, that didn't work. Why is he broken like that? Actor, move to. Oh, I think we need to. I think there's another event that actually. Paste event after. No, delete. Insert event after. Actor. There should be like a store. Launch projectile. If actor position movement. Actor move to. Cancel. Set actor position. That's what I needed. All right, let's see if this resets the player now when we exit the tile map editor. I have to do some more research. I don't know of a single Game Boy game that has a tile map editor like this. All right. There we go. Look at that. So nice. Let's just go loop into nothingness here. We edit. Play map. There we go. Look at that. I'm gonna have to go soon, but it shouldn't be that hard to actually do some of this stuff. So let's. This is 7.5, right? So when we come here, let's insert an event after. We're going to do actor, set actor position, 7.5, but we need to take into account 1, 2, well, technically this is right. This is the empty set of tiles, 1, 2. So it's really on the 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we want to set actor A. And let's just change actor A's name. We're going to call this A selector. So there's going to be two sort of rows of where we need to put this. Let me do this real quick. Let's get this here and close enough. It needs to move down 1 and then over to the left. Down 1 and 7. So there's going to be two levels to the tile map editor. The main level is going to be where you select your person or your tile, and then the one above it is where you enter a tile map code. Oh, cool. I think we're going to have to modify this guy. Let's see, where are my sprites? Selector. I think it actually needs to be 32 by 32. Or actually 24 by 24. And this way we can move. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Go back, go back, go back, go back. There you go. What was this size before? Yeah, 24 by 24. I think something's wrong with the rendering. Because it's supposed to... Why is that upper area... Like... Wait, why can't I zoom in on this? Yeah, this is pretty weird because it's... There's no collision. We don't need the collision at all. What I'm confused about is why the grid is not looking correct, but that shouldn't matter. What we're trying to do is just get that center box in the middle of where Sprite is, and I'm realigning this to the grid, because when I did it, let's see if I can explain this real quick. When I do it this way, and oops, oh my God, stop that. This is where we need it to be, right? This is the 0 point. What's happening is that we can only move this, we can only increment this by tile. So if we did it this way, this is actually going to cost us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sprites, 9 if you count the center. But if we move the sprite here, we now only use 4 sprites. What Game Boy Studio is doing here is that it's actually going to let us... We're still only using, technically we're only using 2 sprites because it's set into 8 by 16 mode. But the sprite's going to be, the sprite's going to be 24 by 24, and it's just going to position it. So we're not actually using any additional sprites. Yeah, because we're seeing it's using 2 tiles and it's 1 unique. So, and honestly, I could optimize this so much more. Like I could just make it this. I could just delete this guy, and honestly, I could actually just make it this one and just rotate it. That's what we should. Let's get it working, and then I'll go back and I'll clean it up. I sort of get stuck a lot in wanting to optimize it before it actually is needed. All right. So now if we move it over to the right one. Let's go back to our game world, and we set the selector to 8 at 9. That should cover up the first tile. All right, let's do this. And there we go. So now, if I actually went back in here and let's just change this for 1 second. I'm just going to, we'll just do it as an example here so you can see where edit, sprite, crop. And if I made this now magenta, and if I save this and come back into GB Studio, we reload the assets, and we do this. Now we have this, and you can't really see it because it's over the empty tile, which is technically like the eraser. But if I move it over one more to 9, and do this. This will now move the selector on top of the tile that we're going to paint with. I guess I need to move it over one more. 10. Yeah, but I have to move it in 2s or 3s. We'll see. We'll do some like simple tests real quick. I'm just going to add that we'll store its position and then it'll just update its own position. Yeah, I think it's just a little off because I don't think my layout is correct because I wasn't seeing the grid the right way. But I'm going to redo, you know, let's just redo it. All right. So my thinking, I have a couple ideas. My first idea really is that I can go in, where's my, I can add all these tiles to the, I was just trying to do the math in my head of how many sprites that would count as. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're getting that close to it. You can only have a certain number of sprites in a row before it like glitches out. I think the Game Boy Color allows 10, but I'm just trying to figure out like, is it like what the easiest, like technically the way I want to do this is I would swap out the palettes, but I'm out of background palettes, so I really can't do that. So what I was thinking of doing, actually, we could actually kind of do it here. Let me copy this over for a second. Let's go to the selector. Let's change the canvas to 94. And I'm going to paste these guys in. And we're going to do this. Sprite crop. And let's save this as, actually, technically I want this to be this. Oh, wait, no, I want, All right, so what I'm thinking is that I'm going to save this as a new sprite, and I want to see if it fixes the tile map. So now we come here and we look at our sprites. We'll see our selector V2. Yeah, see, it fixed the grid. And we're going to do this. Okay, I was trying to figure out what, nope, I don't need all that. I need this flipped horizontally, or that's vertical. I hate when it does that. In my mind, I want to drag it, but that's like not really how this thing works. And then we'll do one more, and this will be flipping both of them. All right, but what we need to do is move this around a single tile. So there is a tile in the middle, like that. Now we can make this 24 by 24. Oh, that's annoying. I don't like that it, like now it's screwed everything up. Like it's not, it doesn't know how to, you know what, I wonder if, I'm going to leave it like this. I don't know why it does this, but let's get rid of this. And let's get rid of, oops, let's make this 0. And make this 0. And then what I was thinking is that I could do, first off, let's just make this fixed direction. I was thinking that I could do, can I copy this over so I don't have to like do this all by hand? Whoa, what is going on here? I don't want that. I want this, 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 and this. I'm going to copy this, paste it. Look at that. Now, an intelligent person would have actually sorted this out so it was in the right position first, but I'm just going to do it live. All right. See? And I screwed up already. Because what I'm thinking is that okay, let's do this again. Let's just delete all these. I want to make sure this is actually positioned correctly, and then we can do this. I think, yeah, I got another couple minutes, and I'm gonna have to stop this for now. Let's switch over to Game World here. Let's make this selector V2. I just want to see where it positions it when we switch over to the mode. All right, so if we move it down 1, it should work perfectly. Let's see here. We need it here. So this needs to be a 10, and it should go right over. It should go right over the first technical tile, which is the player. There we go. So now the real question is, if we go into this, go in the sprites, and we make another frame, or we just do all these frames, and we fill them in, like I want to change this palette to the Reaper Boy palette. I want to change, whoops. I want to change this palette to, I would need to change it to sky. I don't have a sky palette right now. Just like I don't have the palette for this. Then we have our enemy. And that guy is our walker. And then here, this is just our exit. So I think if we run this right now, what's just going to wind up happening is that it's going to go through every single one of these frames. But what we'll do, and I'll probably do this tomorrow if I don't run out of time now, is that every time we move, we're going to change its frame rate, or we're going to change it to another frame. So you see how it's just going through and like hitting all these people, or hitting all this stuff up? Let's go in and see if we can do this real quick. I'm going to add an on update. First off, we're going to do an on init, and we're going to set actor position. What was the position we set it to? So we set it to 10, 10. So let's set this to 10, 10. Although technically I'm going to want it to be over, but we'll deal with that later. And the reason why I'm doing this is that then I'm going to save the we're going to save the store actor position in variables. And this is going to be v underscore selector x. Oh, just give me a, here we go. V selector x, and here we're going to do v selector y. So we're going to deactivate the actor, we're going to set its position, and then we're going to save its position. And then when we come into here, we're going to set the actor's position to a variable, and this is going to be variable, whoops, v selector x, and set this to a variable, v selector y. And the reason why I'm setting these to these variables is because I want them to, I want you, when you go back into edit mode, it should save the last state. So if we just wind up focusing on just moving that, will be good. Now, let's do a little something real quick here. Press if button I wonder if we should actually set it up here. I'm missing something. I don't understand. I'm going to do a really quick test here. Set button. We're going to attach this to the right, and on press we're going to move. Well, we're going to actor. Wait, we want to set a variable to value. We're going to do a math equation where we are going to take the variable for v selector x plus 2, and then we're going to move actor 2 v, whoops, we want a variable v underscore selector x, and we want a property of your current tile y, and we're setting, oh, this is not right. We don't want the player here. Where are we? A selector. Why can't I do a selector? Insert event after. That's weird that it's only giving me the player as the option. What did I do wrong here? You know what I think it is? I think this move to, does it only work for the actor? Set actor position. What What's going on here? Why can't I select this guy? On init, actors. Fine. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up anyways, and tomorrow is a new day, and then I'll go through. I need to do some research on how to do like input. Basically what I need to do is I just need to move that selector back and forth, and I'll do all that logic tomorrow, but we're getting pretty close. This is actually it's actually starting to feel like something. I want to get rid of that, whatever I was doing for this. Move player to set position, delete. Let's just disable this. And now let's rerun this and take a look at what we've done for the day. All right, so we're going to edit the map. Our guy goes away, and now we have our selector, we have our code, and we go back into playing the map. And there we go. I've lost my ability to go right because I am now overriding that. So, all right. Thanks for watching. I will be streaming tomorrow at 9 a.m. And that's a wrap. Thank you, and I will see you guys tomorrow.